One of my clients was burning $200 a month on an accounting SaaS. I wrote a 350-line Python script in 90 minutes that does everything he actually used and more. $2,400 saved per year. In this video, I show you the exact code, how I sold it to him, and the pitch you can replicate with your own clients this week. Here is what that actually means in practice. The code. Every function, not a summary. The pitch, the specific framing that got a non-technical business owner to say yes in one conversation. The math I walked him through before he even asked about price. And the replication template you can take into any small business relationship you already have. 4 things, 35 minutes of your time, $2,400 per client per year in recoverable value. Let's go. The client is a design agency owner in Monterey. Small operation, 7 people, mostly brand and packaging work for local manufacturers. 2 years ago, he signed up for a mid-tier accounting SaaS, auto-pay enabled, credit card on file, $200 a month, every month for 24 months. That is $4,800 paid before I ever asked him a single question about it. When I asked what he actually used it for, he pulled up the dashboard and went quiet for a moment. He used it to categorize expenses, to match invoices against his bank statements from BBVA and Banorte, and to export a clean Excel file for his accountant at year-end so she could file the annual declaration without needing to call him 4 times asking for the same numbers. That is it. 3 workflows. And the SaaS had 47 features on its pricing page. This is not a story about a careless business owner. This is a story about how SaaS pricing is engineered. Bundles designed so you pay for the ceiling when you only ever touch the floor. QuickBooks Online Essentials is $75 a month in 2026. FreshBooks Premium is $70. Xero Established is $90. You pay for the platform, the support team, the roadmap, and the enterprise clients that justify the infrastructure you never touch. My client was not paying for accounting software. He was paying for the option to use accounting software. That is a different thing entirely. What he needed could be stated precisely. Parse incoming CFDI invoices, Mexico's standardized electronic invoice format. Categorize each line by expense type. Match the totals against CSV exports from his bank, and produce a single clean Excel workbook at the end of each month. No cloud dashboard, no multi-user collaboration, no bank sync API, no payroll module. A local script, a folder of input files, and an output folder with the report. What the script actually does is not magic. It fits in 4 functions. Before I show you the code, the context matters, because it is what makes this particular problem tractable in less than 90 minutes. Mexico's SAT, the tax authority, standardized electronic invoicing with the CFDI format in 2014 and upgraded to version 4.0 in 2022. Every CFDI 4.0 invoice issued by any vendor in Mexico contains the same required fields in the same positions. A UUID, the Folio Fiscal, which is a 36-character universally unique identifier assigned by the authorized PAC when the invoice is stamped, the RFC of the issuer, the RFC of the receiver, the total amount, the currency, the IVA breakdown. Those fields do not move. Every compliant invoice PDF has them rendered in a standardized summary block at the bottom. That standardization is your leverage. You are not writing a general-purpose invoice parser that has to handle 1,000 different layouts. You are writing one regex, one that hits the same field positions on every document your client will ever receive from a Mexican vendor. The SAT's compliance requirement is doing the hard work for you. The architecture is 4 functions. Parse invoice reads each CFDI 4.0 PDF and extracts the structured fields. Categorize maps each invoice to an expense category using a keyword dictionary the client maintains in a JSON file and returns a category string. The client manages his own categories. The script does not need to understand the business, it just needs to apply the mapping the client already knows. 350 lines, including comments. Half of the problem is solved by SAT's own standardization working in your favor. The runtime flow is intentionally boring. You drop invoice PDFs into an input/invoices folder. You drop the bank statement CSVs, exported directly from BBVA or Banorte's web portal, into input/bank. You run python main.py. 30 seconds later, there is a single Excel file and output with a timestamp in the file name. The reconciliation logic is where the interesting decisions happen. Bank statements and invoices do not always match on date or amount to the penny. Payments clear 1 to 3 days after the invoice date. Partial payments exist. Rounding differences between the invoice total and the bank transaction appear when IVA is applied at the point of payment rather than at the point of invoicing. The reconcile function handles this with 2 configurable parameters, a date window and an amount tolerance. The defaults are 3 calendar days and 1%. An invoice dated Monday matches a bank transaction dated Wednesday. A total of 11,600 MXN matches a bank debit of 11,598.40 MXN. Both are within tolerance. If no match is found within the window and tolerance, the invoice goes into an unmatched list that becomes its own sheet in the Excel output, so the accountant knows exactly what needs manual review and does not have to search for it. The generate report function takes the matched and unmatched lists, groups them by category, and writes an openpyxl workbook with column headers, currency formatting, and a summary tab showing total spend per category for the month. The accountant gets a file she can use without reformatting anything. That detail, the accountant does not have to touch it, was worth more to my client than any other feature I described. Development time, timed. 30 minutes on parse invoice, confirming the regex against 10 real invoices the client sent. 25 minutes on categorize, building the JSON dictionary with him on a call while he named his vendors. 20 minutes on reconcile, deciding tolerance defaults, testing edge cases with his actual bank data. 15 minutes on generate report, matching the openpyxl formatting to what his accountant already expected. 90 minutes total. 350 lines, replacing $200 a month software. But writing the script is not the real game. Selling it to the client is. The mistake most developers make when they approach this kind of work is walking in as a programmer. You are not a programmer walking in. You are a consultant who has already solved a specific financial problem, and you are there to hand the client a number, not a pitch deck. Before you contact the client, you need to know exactly what they are paying. A single question in a discovery call or 30 seconds on the SaaS pricing page. You calculate the annual cost, your setup fee, and the break-even month. You bring that math already done. QuickBooks Essentials is $75 a month in 2026, $900 a year. A $1,200 setup breaks even at month 16. FreshBooks Premium is $70 a month, $840 a year. A $1,500 setup breaks even at month 21, and year 2 is $840 straight back into the client's pocket indefinitely. Zero established is $90 a month, $1,080 a year. A $1,000 setup breaks even at month 12. The clients worth targeting are the ones on mid-tier plans using 3 features out of 40. That is not rare. That is the majority. Pricing template, a one-time setup fee of $800 to $1,500 USD, depending on invoice volume and bank account count. Optional monthly retainer of $50 to $100. You run the script each month, deliver the Excel file to the accountant, update the category dictionary when new vendors appear. The retainer converts a one-time sale into recurring revenue and gives the client a person to call instead of a support ticket queue. 3 segments, ranked by access. First, solo freelancers and independent accountants filing high invoice volumes. Pain is immediate. They already know the problem. The script saves 2 to 4 hours per month. At their billing rate, the math is obvious. Second, small agencies in the 5 to 15 employee range. Enough invoice volume to feel the reconciliation pain, not enough budget or technical staff to justify enterprise software. Third, boutique accounting firms. Highest leverage. One firm with 20 clients is 20 potential deployments if they resell the automation to their own portfolio. The rule: walk in with the number already calculated for that specific client. Do not pitch automation. Do not pitch Python. Pitch a number. You are paying $840 a year for FreshBooks. I can replace the 3 workflows you actually use for $1,200. You break even in month 21. After that, you save $840 every year. That sentence does not require the client to know what pdfplumber is. The follow-up that seals it: offer to run the script on 1 month of their actual data before they pay anything. Bring the output Excel to the second meeting. Let them show it to their accountant. When the accountant says it works, the sale is done.
There is one more thing worth saying before you go build this. The script you just watched me walk through was written by hand. No copilot, no cursor, no Bgent loop generating the boilerplate. Every regex, every reconciliation edge case, every openpyxl formatting call, written, tested, and understood by a human who can explain every line of it in a client meeting. That is not a philosophical choice, it is a commercial one. The clients in the segment I described, the accountants, the small agencies, the boutique firms, are not asking for AI attestation yet. But there is a tier above them that is, and that tier pays $250 an hour. 3 recruiters contacted me inside the same month: San Francisco, London, Sydney. They did not know each other. They sent me the same requirement. Their clients needed senior engineers who could deliver human-authored code with no AI assistance. The rate was $250 per hour. Not because human code is inherently better, because in regulated sectors, fintech under DORA, defense contractors under CMMC, security audit firms doing manual penetration testing, the provenance of the code is the compliance artifact. Human authorship is the deliverable, not just the means of producing it. The video I made about that market is on screen right now. It covers exactly who is paying that rate, what the verification process looks like, and how to position yourself to get in front of those clients. It is called the $250 per hour niche no one talks about. If the Python work in this video interests you, that video is the next logical step. The clients you can reach with a 350-line script are the foundation. The clients who need provenance-attested, human-authored code are where the rate ceiling disappears.